Okay, this is Elvira from Scrapbook Mania, and today I'm going to put everything together. So in a previous video, I did show you how to create these butterfly. I show you how to create these rosettes. I also show you how to create this lace paper. Now in prior videos, I did show you how to create these flowers. And in an old video, and I'll put the link to all these videos on the description box of this one, I show you how to go ahead and get some fabric, cut it out. I use my scissors cutter. I also use an embossing folder, and I use some ink. And then I went over this piece with some glitter glue to create, or actually glitter glam. I went over a homemade glimmer glam that I made to create this pocket. So I'm going to use all of these to create my layout. So now the first thing I want to do is kind of figure out what background I'm going to put. Now I thought I might want to put this on a white background, and then I want to go ahead and frame this out with another piece of paper because it looks kind of plain. So I brought in some red. The reason why I brought in some red, because I want to bring the red in. I got some bias tape. And oh, by the way, I do have a video how to create this, so I'll put the link as well. I want to use this bias tape for my page. And I want to bring in some red because I do have, the butterfly does have some red on its wings, so I want to introduce some more of this type of red. And I'm also going to use some photo corners that I was punch out with the leftover of this paper. So I do want a red background. So now what I need to do is kind of match it up. So I have these two elements that I need to kind of match up on the page. Now when I put this together, I think it might go well. I'm not sure. That might be a possibility. Now if I put this one, it's not as red as my butterfly. I'm introducing a different tone of red to the whole layout, and it's a lighter red, so I don't think it's going to go well. So I'm not going to use that one. It doesn't appear to me. Now this one is not at all. It's more a pinkish coral red. And it's not anything like this this is more a rustic red, and this is also a more brighter red. So this one won't work. This one is not, I don't think it's going to work either. Definitely this one's not going to work. This is more red, and this is more rust red, so it's not going to work. And this one is more like an orange red. So I think the best choice that we have is this red. It's more a rusted color, and it matches more my bias tape. So I'm going to use this red. However, I only have one piece, and since I'm going to use a matte, so this is let's get the measurement, 6 by 8. So this is a 6 by 8. This is half an inch smaller, so this is a 7.5 by 5.5. And then this is going to frame out a 5 by 7 photo. Now I want to put this here, but notice if I put my red outline, I need to introduce that red here in order to make a distinction, so you can see a distinction between this pink and this pink. So I only have one piece of cardstock. So the best thing is to do is I'm going to cut out the center of this, and I'm going to leave like a 2-inch border on each side. So I'm going to cut out a 10 by 10. So I went ahead and glued my piece. I just used some regular Scotch glue, permanent glue, and I glue the strips here. So it's not all the way glued down, so I'm going to do some stitching around the edges. And then I'm just going to measure this. Okay, so I cut this down like a 1/2 inch on one side, 1/2 inch on the other side. And actually I did a 1/4 inch, so that way I can square off my piece. And then this is going to be my mat. It's going to go here, and this is going to go here. And I am going to place these photo corners think I'm going to place them right here. Okay, so let me go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to sew it together. I'm going to use some thread, some silver thread, and I shall be back. So here's my page. As you can see, I have stitching on the base page, or on the main page, the 12 by 12, and then on my mat, I triple matted it, and I put some some stitching as well on the edges. So I want to go ahead and bring in this seam binding. This is a technique that I show you how you can take any seam binding and you can change the color with your glimmer mist. So I want to use this in this page, on this page. What I did is I created a tag. So I have these $1 Studio G stamps that I got at Michael's. So I'm using this one that says Sunshine and Happiness. I stamped it on a piece of regular white cardstock. I trimmed it out. And then I use, this is a EK Success punch, and it creates these slits. So it's a set of 3. So let me show you if you're interested in this. It comes with the to make a notch. So this is the rounded punch, and then it comes with a smaller slit punch and a large slit punch. So these are good for your ribbon. So what you do is you measure your ribbon and see how wide it is, and then you use the corresponding punch for that. And it just comes out, you put it on, like you see here. You take your whatever you want to punch out, you just hammer it down, and it makes a perfect slit for your lace. So that's what I did here. So I went ahead and put that, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And then instead of gluing it down, because I want to make sure I can insert my picture, I am going to use this stapler from EK Success that I purchased a long time ago. This one has a little bit of design on the staple, so I'm going to put that there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and make sure before I kind of press it down. And I don't want to, I like the texture of the seam binding. I do not want to kind of stretch it out too much. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue just to tack it down so it won't move while I staple it. And I can even do a little twist on my seam binding. Actually, I'm not going to twist it. I'm just going to leave it like this. And I put a little bit of glue here just to tack it down until I'm able to use my staple. So I think I like it there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and staple in place. Okay, so that gives it a little bit of interest, and I'm starting to use more of my supplies that I've acquired a long time ago. Okay, so now this is going to look like that. So now let's go ahead and start building the page. My pocket, I think I will like it to be here. Okay, and I'm going to create a cluster around here. I want some banners, so I want to bring these banners into my cluster. I think it looks good here. And I'm just going to trim it off. And what I was planning to put there is this little embellishment and something that says Discover the Magic. I want to put that right there. So let me go ahead and put my embellishment. And I'm going to use one of these, my full veneer embellishment, and I will put the link in how to create these as well. So I mean, a lot of the techniques that I show you how to create your own embellishment, they're great to give your page some interest. And that's why I try to give you, when I teach you how to create an embellishment, I try to apply it on a page so you can see how it's going to look. So now I'm going to adhere this, and then I'm going to just put it at an angle. So I'm going to spruce up this tag. So I already went ahead and took my marker and I made an outline in red, and I show you how in another video how you just take your marker and just create a line, and that creates a nice little shadow on whatever photo or mat or whatever you have. So I'm going to I cut this sunshine, and it's from a stamp that I purchased at Hobby Lobby on discount, and it's from Ink and Dickadoo, and the stamp is called Positive Pop. So it comes with 4 stamps, one that says enjoy, sunshine, good stuff, and fancy that. So I took the shine, and then I went ahead and used the same clear stamp for $1, and I'm using the sun. So I'm going to put the sun on here at the bottom, and I'm going to put this here. Now before I put that there, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can put places here that says you make me smile. And then I'm going to go ahead and place this here. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and use this little bicycle. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the little bicycle down here and just stamp a little bit off the page or off the tag. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my Post-it note and I'm going to mask off the areas that I don't want to stamp. Okay, and then I'm going to take my journaling stamp from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to ink it up with Memento ink, and then I'm going to stamp in the center. So now when I remove it, you have a perfect tag. And then I'm going to take some of my bias tape. I'm going to feed it in through the hole. And then I'm going to bring the tails through the center of my loop. Okay, so I created my tag. I'm going to set that aside. So let's go ahead and start putting the page together. Okay, now I'm going to start putting some of my embellishments. So now I'm going to start placing my embellishments on my page, and I'm not going to glue everything down yet because I just want to make sure that I know where I'm going to put all my elements on the page. So I decided to put that arrow right there in my tag, and then another saying right on my pocket. So I'm going to cut that doily in half, and I decided to put one on one side, and then I'm going to put the other one right next to the pocket. And now I'm going to take everything off and start gluing everything down with hot glue. And I find that hot glue, when you're using bulky embellishments like my butterfly and my rosette, you really need something that's going to hold it down, and hot glue, it does the trick. So now I'm just placing some more of my flowers and just creating a cluster there on the right hand side. And then these little roses, I will put the link on how to create these quilled roses with just strip of paper. They're perfect for filling in any gaps that you have on your page, especially when you're making clusters of flowers. You really need sometimes little tiny roses to kind of fill in the awkward gaps that sometimes you cannot fill with the flowers. Now I'm putting some tiny little faux veneers flowers around the page, and I'm using them like if there were stars. And I do have a video how to create these little veneers. They're not veneer, they're just layers of paper glued together. So now I'm done with my page, and I'm going to show you all the clusters and up close the different layers and all the embellishments that I placed on his page. And I really like it. I really like that lace paper underneath, and I think it came out pretty good. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and try creating your own lace paper, and also your butterfly and the other techniques that I've shown you throughout this week. And thank you for watching. Bye now.